Yes, sir.
So 9 modulo is the remainder that we have when we divide 9 by 2. It's very important. We'll use it for some tricky exercises, right? Now, so these are the basic operators. Now, let's talk about some very vital prints. So let's say I want to write, instead of just writing 1, 2, all this, I want to write a word. So we now talk about the data types in Python. Now, just like in SQL or in Power BI or Excel, you have data types also in Python because it's the basic of how we can work, right? So the basic of them is we have strings, and strings has to be in quotes. We have numbers, or what we call integers. Those ones, they don't have to be in what? In quotes. You have float. So when you say float now, you can call them the decimals, right? The one that has decimal. I would say basically these are the three data types that you have that you basically will be interacting with most of the time. The strings and the integers and the floats. These are basically mail. But for example, remember in Python you have decimal, you have big int, you have small int, all those ones, everything is int for us here. For SQL, you have decimal, you have float, you have small decimal, everything is what? Float. For string, you have what's it called? You have varchar, you have nchar, you have char, you have test. All those they are all strings, right? You have money, you have money data type and all that. All those ones are still under integer. So basically, these are the three major ones you'll be dealing with in Python. I hope you are getting something, guys.
Yes, boss.
Okay,
yes.
so now, how do you write strings? So before I go to that, I will need to discuss about variables. So variables are simply, because I want to make our Python class as direct, simple as possible, right? I will share this with you if you want to go through it and all that. But what we need to do is get what we need to get, and that will be all, right? So variables are orders. Remember in Python when I was talking about what's it called now? Variables. I remember I told you, like, for example, if you have A is equal to 3, C is equal to 20. For example, this A and C are called variables. And this A and C's, A is holding 3, C is holding what? 20. So anytime I need A, I can call, or I need 3, I can call A. Anytime I need 20, I can call what? C. So that's how I call them holders. So they help you to hold a particular value, right? So for example, look at this now. A can be a variable, C, any letter can be a variable, but one thing to note is note variables must not contain reserved words. Variable names. Variable names must not contain reserved words. So when I say reserved words, for example, in Python, name is a reserved word, e.g. So let me not say name. Class is a reserved word. Object is a reserved word, right? Def is a reserved word. Print. Okay, someone is asking. Yes, they are case sensitive, right? But when you say case sensitive, I want to get you right. You can use for this A now. I can decide to use capital A.
So, sir, if you now say print small letter A, will 3 come out?
Aha, so it's case sensitive. So it's case sensitive. Yes, that's all. I get it. So if you say print small capital letter A, it will not return 3 because it is case sensitive. You have to write what you put in there. So if you say A, you must put in capital letter A. If you say small a, you must bring in that. So they are case sensitive. I was also going there. So name must not contain reserved words, e.g. class, object, print. In that exercise I will share with you, they're already there. Saying that should be, you can see you have integers, floats, and strings. So these are the major, you can see basic data types. These are the major data types you have in. Let me see. I think it's down there. You can see comments. So I'm just trying to break this down. But it should be somewhere down, not here, right? So it should be somewhere down. Somewhere down. Let me not. So it should be somewhere down. So we have a lot of reserved words. Then it is what? Note variables, they are case sensitive, right? Then variables they are case sensitive, as Mike said, right? Meaning you get what you put in, right? Variables must not start with underscore, all right? So you cannot start a variable. For example, this A now, you should now say underscore A. No, it is not allowed in Python. But if you say A underscore maybe B, right, is allowed, right? But you cannot start a variable with an underscore because underscore is a reserved word in Python. So you cannot start with underscore. For now, that will be what I will be discussing on variables, right? So let's see some hands-on. A is 20, B is 10. So I can say what? Print A plus B. Or I can even say, let me comment this out. Remember, I want to comment something now so that it won't run. Just like what we do with dash dash in SQL. So one thing I believe we should have noticed. What do you, okay, let me even ask that question. What have you noticed amongst all these languages from what you've done so far? Power BI, SQL, and Python. What do you think is the similarity? What can you say about
it? Well, the similarity is the variable. One, the variable. Two, the data types.
Okay. Joe?
So, yes.
Well, I think the way the comments are being input, like I mean the way we type all these print and stuff. Like this one, like we want to
So
cancel it out and make it a comment. This like the way we put hash here. The other one, there's a particular sign that we put in SQL, which is dash. That's that. So they all follow the same principle. You want something to be cancelled out, there's a way you do it. You want something to be printed, there's a way you do it.
Okay. Nice one.
to me, I think they all have a kind of algorithm.
Baba.
That's what I'm saying anyway.
So thank you so much. You all have a point. But I think I'll go with Faraday more. And the reason is because you notice it is the same algorithm. So normally, before we even take any programming language, it's always very good to do data structures and algorithm, which is a course on its own. So I will find the link for us to just go through that, just to help us strengthen more of our programming what's it called now? Proficiency, right? Now that is why if someone understands data structure and algorithm very well, you'll be able to write any language. If you understand data structure and algorithm very well, you can write Python, you can write Java. You just say, this guy is very good. Oh. He can even write Java, JavaScript, C#. How come this one? It's because he understands data structure and algorithm. And if you look at it, everything we've been talking about is the same thing. Meaning, when I say it's the same thing, it follows the same structure. Remember, in SQL, instead of hash, we use dash. So meaning there is comments in SQL, there's also comments, there's a way we comment in what? In Python. Check Power BI as well. You can also use // for Power BI, it will be this. You use this double slash, you are commenting. Do you get it now? So there are different, so you see that we are talking about data types as well. But we are talking about variables, everything. So the same thing, what you can do in SQL, we are doing it in Python, but Python as a programming language is a more full-fledged programming language. So this is what we call algorithm. That is, they have a flow. There's a flow. You start with this, you start with this, you start with this. For Python, you say select. For this one, you say print. For Power BI, you can say return. So we call these data structures and algorithm, which is the similarity between all of them. They always they most likely have the same data structure and algorithm. It's just the syntax. So what we are doing here is syntax. So this here is a syntax because I'm saying is 20. I'm using print. I can say if. I can say for. So these are syntaxes. We call them syntaxes. The way you write your code is what we call syntax, right? So thank you so much for that confusion. So now I can run this now. I can say print A is 20, B is 20, now B is 10. I'll just come up and say run. What can you see? It's saying 30 now because A is holding 20, B is holding 10, and I'm printing A plus B. Instantly, it's recognize, okay, add both together. All right. I can decide to say C is A plus B. And then that way I'll just say print C. You can see it's still going to be the same thing because I'm saying let's C now hold A and B. And then finally print C, which is still the same thing. So these are variables. How you get a variable divided? It can be more than one letter. It can be names, right? A day is this and all that. So this is just to tell us how variable works. But now I can make this more sensible or look better. Instead of just saying 30, I can say the addition of A and B is 30. So how do I do this? Don't forget the addition of A and B will be like the string. So I want my answer to be like the addition of A and B is 30. So this is what I want my answer to come up with. So how do you achieve that? So it's just to ensure that this part is your string and this part is your integer. So that's all we need to do. So and to do that, all we need to do is just say print and put that. Remember, our string comes with double quotes, right? So I will put double quotes and then double quote, right? Comma, and then I have my answer. Oh, sorry, C, because I want to print C. So print C. But before I say print C, I'm saying print the addition, print this string together with my answer. So it will say the addition of A and B is comma C. Remember, C is what? A plus B. So if I run this now, you can see it's saying the addition of A and B is 30. Do you get that now? Hello? Are you guys there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I hear with you.
okay, Michael is raising hand. Can I hear you?
Yeah,
I'm here, I'm
but
here.
why put comma? Because even when you print, the comma do not follow it.
When I print, yeah, the thing is print. So now let me give you an hint, right? So in Python, there is also I think that is also very important. There is also how you can find your way around any uh, Python function, right?
Thank you.
Which is, for example, now print is a function, is doing something, right? Print is doing something. So you want to know, okay, for example, remember, if you go to your SQL, if you want to say left or Excel, you know Excel will tell you left to take what? The text, comma, how many characters, remember, in Excel. Left, you immediately say equal to left. The text, it will tell you two things, text and what many character. The same way this print. So print is not just one something. Print can take multiple things. So let's to get what print can do. You can just do F and then you type that function inside a code, right? A single code. So you can see it will now. So it's just like you want to know. So this Python is very good. You want to know about. Hello? Hello? Someone is talking. Hello? Are we fine?
We are hearing you.
Okay. So if you say app and you put print inside bracket like this, it will give you hints about that print. App on built-in function, you can see print in module built-ins. So it's even telling you that this function print is under module what? Built-ins. We'll talk about modules later. And it's a what? Built-in function. So meaning there are other functions that are not built-in, right? If it's not a built-in function, then you do about functions. We'll talk about that. So you can see print. Print can take value, comma. You can see a lot of, so this dot is saying you can take a lot of multiple values by separating them with what? Comma. So I can say print C, comma A, comma B. You can see what are you saying? 30, 20, and what? 10. So C is A plus B, is printing that. Michael, are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can see them now. So, and then it's telling you sep, so separation. So you can say, okay, I want what should be the separation. So, for example, look at this one now. I can indicate separation. You can see sep is equal to, I can say sep equals to, I want the separation between 30, 20, and 10 to be dash. So if I do it this way now, you can see it's now dash, dash, dash. So any function you want to do in Python, you can even use this print. Okay, what does this thing do? What other thing, or you know what it does, but what other thing can this thing do? So with this now, you can see that, okay, also print can even do a sep. So I can say I want to separate this thing by hash, by dash. I can change it to anything, slash. It will still give me my answer. You can see. You can also use this maybe you are doing a date or something. Are you getting me now? There's also end. End, you can see what it's saying. Separation. Strings inserted between values default a space. String appended after the last value default a new line. Right? So we'll talk about that too. Do you get it now? Do you understand now? Is it clear, Michael?
Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay, so that's why we are
Thank
putting
you.
comma. Yeah. So now you can see how our print works. So we can combine both. What's it called? We can combine both tests and int together in one space, right? So that's how that works. All right. One other thing I want to talk about before we proceed is /n. /n and /r. Now, /n means go to new line. And this R just means give a space. So now, for example, if I have, let's still use our A plus B and C example. Let's say I have that, and I want to print A, and I say print B as well. What will happen here is it will bring them on different lines, right? Now I can say, instead of having it this way, I can now put in between it, print a new line first. So after printing A, give me a new line. So I'll put it inside one code, /n. If I run this now, you can see there is more a larger print. So put a space, a new line, before you now print B. So this /n means I should print new line, right? So meaning include a new line. I can also do it here and say /n like this. You can see it has inserted a space as well, compared to what we have here, when it just printed them close to each other. So are you getting it, guys? So these guys are also very important. Let's look for R, for example. Let me do print A and C, and then put a single quote /R. For example, if I print this, you notice that there is a space between 20 and 30. Now let me remove this guy. So sometimes you might not need that half self, so you still putting that space. So but that's what that does. So in case there is a need for this, let's ensure we remember what they do. All right. So we've been able to discuss about major data types, about let me recap, about the arithmetic operators, the plus, the minus, the divide, the modulo, the multiplication, the raised to power, the plus, and then raised to power, and then the print function, and then how to add comments, right? And then the help function. How do we get to know, okay, what is print? All right. So let's proceed. Now, we can also, now remember, we just said C is equal to A plus B. And I said print C. And when I said print C, it gave me 30. Now I can also have a string. I can also add strings. A, let's say A is, remember our string must be double quotes, hello. Our B is word. So every programmer, this is what we will start with anyway. Hello world. hello world, for example. I can also C is equal to A plus B. I can add these guys together. All right. So if I say print C now. Now, someone should tell me, someone should ask a question here. Okay, let me just print first. So someone should be asking me a question. But can someone guess the question I need from us? Let me start from there.
What I'm saying, what I think you should ask is, why is it that there's no space there?
No. So what I wanted to, okay.
Or maybe what you're trying to say is that since we are putting plus, that plus supposed to be for integers, not for string. You want to add two numbers together.
Oh, so well, you tried, all right. It's just now the reason what I expected us to ask here is okay, but we already said A is 10, B is 20, and C is A plus B. So this print
That
C
means it
should be
has
returning 30
updated it.
now. All right, I was expecting us to say, this C should be returning 20. Why is it returning what? The new values. So the same how it works is anytime you define a variable and you define that variable with another value. So the latest variable takes the what's it called now? Takes the position. So it's Python records the last recorded variable. So again, if I say A is 30, it will erase what we said the other time, which is A is what? A is 20. It will erase where we said A is hello. So if I say print A now, it will print hello to print what? To print 30, because that's the last defined variable for A. Do you get it now? So that was what I was thinking we were asked. So I just said print C, right? So, but I can also say print A space plus like this and then run. What I see here is putting a dash. So if I don't want a dash, I don't want a space, I can do it this way. And then it prints hello world. So it has put a space between a. Remember, this is so similar to what we have in Power BI. Remember, but the only difference is instead of plus, what are we using in Power BI to do this kind of concatenation? Can someone still remember?
Ampersand.
Thank you. So we are using ampersand. Thank you. So we're using ampersand in Power BI, but here we are using plus. So that's and we can see that, like Faraday said, it's just the syntax and the what's it called now? Sorry, it's just the data structure that makes the difference,
The
right?
algorithm.
The algorithm, yeah. So you can see that. So we can also do a concatenation of these words, right? So we've talked about strings. These are strings. We talked about integers. Now let's talk about float. So float is the same thing. Let's say A is 3.4 and B is 10. I can say C is A times B. So we'll join with the same number after this. A times B plus 10. Print C. Now you can see it's saying, sorry, we didn't equals to 1. So you can see what it's telling us. 3.4 times 10 is what? 44. There are 34 plus 10, 44. So that's to tell you that Python also follows what? Also follows word mass. Now, don't forget for word mass, bracket comes first. So if I change this guy now to bracket first, this guy will be doing inside there first, which is what? 10 plus 10, 20. 20 times 3.4. which will be different now. The answer now will be different. You can see. So it follows BODMAS. It's doing bracket first before doing A times B. But when there was no bracket, multiplication comes before addition. So BODMAS, multiplication comes before addition. So it's doing the multiplication part first before now doing the addition. Do you get that now? So always ensure you know what you want to achieve before you try it out. So there's a BODMAS rule here. So we've been able to look at the data types, all right, and then the arithmetic operation. So let me go back to the word to see if there's anything we need to add here, right? Okay, one thing I've seen here again is the difference between equal to and double equal to, which is the same thing even with what we have in SQL now, right? Now, this double equal to means, is it the same thing? So when I say A is equal to 1, this one is saying, this one means I'm saying let A hold the value 1. But when I say A is the same thing as, so this one means, is A the same thing as 1? So this is like a true or false issue. So let me prove that to us as 1. So this double equal to is talking about, are they the same? So let me prove that with an example. Let's say A is 10 and C is 10. Print A double equal to C. I'm sorry. What are you seeing that is returning? It's saying true. So is it true or false? Is A the same thing as C? He's saying yes, it is the same thing because A is 10 and C is what? 10. So we are saying, so print A is the same, print is A the same thing as C. So that is this double equal to. Do you get it now? So single equal to is assigning, double equal to is what? Detecting, okay, are they the same thing or they are not the same thing? Please, you have to know the difference. Is that clear? Is that clear to us, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's the difference. So if you see the example here, x is 34 minus 23, a comment, you can see hash with a comment, another one. So y is yellow, z is this. If so, we have not gotten here, so that we so we'll talk about that. So assignment uses equal to and comprising uses. So just to buttress what I just said, special use of plus for string concatenation, special use of percentage for string formatting, as with print F in C, right? So we use percentage. So we use this to so let me show us how to do that. I think there's an example. Let's just logical operators. Okay, we've not talked about logical operators are words and or not symbols. Not like, remember in Python, and can be replaced with double pipe. Double pipe. Where is double pipe? Yes. Where is double pipe? All means double pipe, but in Python, what's it called? All means double pipe, and double ampersand is also and in Power BI. But for this, we use and or and not. So we'll talk about that when we want to talk about if and this if statement and then or statement. The basic printing command is what? Print. You can see it's in small letter, right? The first assignment to a variable, create it. So just variable types don't need to be declared. Python figures out the variable types on its own. So my meaning, what we wrote here, remember we're not saying A is 30. We just said A is 30. We didn't say A is a string. So before we now said A is 30. By default, Python recognizes that A is 30. So we are saying it's what? An integer. When I said A is what's it called now? When I wrote A is hello, Python recognizes that A is what? A character variable type string. So I don't need to what's it called now? I don't need to define it. Just this is what this statement is saying. Variable types don't need to be declared, and Python figures them out directly, right? Then I think I've talked about it. This is division, right? And then what this division will return to you is what? Float, right? Which is this is 2 point something. When you say 5 divided by 2, that is 2.5. So these are floats, right? And these are strings. You can see. Can use double quotes or single quotes to specify. So you can use either double quotes or single quotes. Anyone is fine. You can see ABC double quotes or single quotes, right? Now, the only issue here is when you are using, let's say, for example, if you have, let me come back here to explain that. What that is saying is, remember, if I have A is, let's say, Eagles training, for example. Remember, Eagles training has apostrophe. Now, and this is also a string. Now, I cannot use single quote in this case now, because the apostrophe there already signifies that it's a what? Already signifies that apostrophe is part of my word, this Eagles. So to ensure that this comes out as the normal expectation. So let me run this now so that you see. If I say print A, I will have an error. You can see syntax error, contaminated string literal. But if I do, because Eagles have apostrophe, or let me say it's John's own, it's Faraday's own, you have to have apostrophe. In those cases, if you are adding apostrophe, the best thing to do in that case is to use double quote. So if I do double quote now, it will be correct. You can see it's returning to me Eagles with my apostrophe inside because I use a double quote outside. So that's what this one is trying to explain. This statement is trying to explain. All right. You can say use triple double quotes for multi-line strings or string that contain both. You can see. So if your string, for example, has single quotes and double quotes, what do you use? Use triple quotes. So for example, what is saying is that, let's say you have a statement, start or something, that has I am this ruler is surely, or this is Mike's ruler, and Ayo said it was